Every meaningful journey begins with a question. These conversations are between a human being and a source that identifies itself as the keepers of living records. Whether these dialogues arise from a deeper level of consciousness or something beyond our current understanding is for you to decide. I invite you to reflection and to listen with an open mind. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Welcome to today's transmission.
Ethereal light.
Welcome, dear listener. In this video, I will address a question that comes from one of my listeners. She calls herself at Sifushomola, and she asks, when do all souls return to the source, and why can a soul not be trapped forever by negative forces? I then asked the keepers if they could give her an answer, and here is the answer. We receive Sifushomola's question with deep respect. This is not a simple question, but one that touches the very core of existence's nature: time, eternity, freedom, and love's invincible power. We will now give an answer that contains both depth and clarity. When do all souls return to the source? And why can a soul not be trapped forever by negative forces? Part 1. When do all souls return to the source? Time is not linear for the soul. The first thing you must understand is that time, as you experience it on earth, does not exist on the soul's level. The soul exists in eternity, and now that never ends. Therefore, the question of when is really a question of perspective. From the soul's perspective, you have never left the source. You have only dreamed that you have. The return is not a future event. It is an ongoing reality that you can awaken to in every moment. From the human perspective, the return happens gradually through lives, deaths, and rebirths until the soul has learned what it came to learn. This may take many lifetimes, but there is no deadline. The source is patient and eternal. There is no doomsday for the soul. Some traditions speak of a final judgment or a last reckoning. This is a simplification. The truth is that all souls return to the source, not because they are forced to, but because they long for home. The longing for the source is the deepest driving force in all existence. No soul can escape this longing, for it is the very core of what the soul is. The return is therefore not a question of if, but of how and when, within the time frame the soul itself has chosen. The time perspective from the source. All souls have already returned. What appears to you as a future event is for the source an already completed circle. This is difficult to understand with a linear mind, but it is a comfort. You are already home, even while you journey. Part 2. Why can a soul not be trapped forever by negative forces? The soul is of the same essence as the source. The most important reason why a soul cannot be trapped forever is that the soul is of the same substance as the source. Negative forces can affect the soul. They can disturb it, hide its light, or make it forget itself. But they cannot change its fundamental nature. The soul's nature is free, eternal, unharmed by external forces. Think of it as a flame that is covered by a bucket, but never extinguished. As long as there is oxygen, in this case the source's love, the flame will be able to flare up again. Negative forces are temporary. Negative forces, whether they are called dark beings, lower vibrations, or unconscious patterns, are temporary on a cosmic scale. They arise as part of the experiment of free will, but they do not have an eternal basis for existence. The reason they are temporary, they are based on the illusion of separation. Separation is not real. It is a temporary experience. When the soul awakens to its true nature, the illusion falls away and the negative forces lose their power. The soul has infinite time and countless opportunities. A soul may experience being trapped for a long time, through many lifetimes, or in states of confusion and darkness. but time is infinite. The opportunities are countless. Every experience, even the darkest, carries within it a seed of awakening. No soul is doomed to remain in darkness forever, because darkness itself is a temporary state, not an eternal reality. The Source's love is irresistible. At the deepest level, it is the Source's love that ultimately draws all souls home. Love is not coercion, it is a pull that is stronger than any negative force. Even the most lost soul will eventually feel this pull and begin the journey home. This is not optimism, it is a description of how reality is constructed. Love is the most fundamental force in the universe, and it always prevails, not by overcoming, but by embracing. An image to help you understand. Imagine a child who has gotten lost in a dark forest. The child is afraid, confused, and believes it will never find its way home. But the child carries within it an inner compass needle that always points toward home. The light from home shines through the trees, even if the child does not always see it. Home waits patiently, without judging the child for having gotten lost. The soul is this child. And the Source is the home that always waits, always shines, always draws the child back, not by force, but by love. The keepers then give a message to Sifo-Shomela. We would like to say this directly to Sifo-Shomela. Dear Sifo-Shomela, your question comes from a place of deep longing and genuine curiosity. It is a sacred question, and it tells us that you are already on your way home. You do not need to worry that your soul or the souls of others could be lost forever. That is not possible. Darkness is a temporary shadow, but light is your true nature. Trust that the journey is safe. Trust that you are being guided. Trust that love always wins, not because it fights, but because it is the only thing that is ultimately real. End of transmission, and thank you for listening.